I'm turning my light off to save battery for a second while we're doing this. I won't look like this, I promise. Maybe I'll put a blazer on rather than doing a bit. I'm trying to decide what would take more work, doing the bit around not wearing the blazer or just putting the blazer on.
And Charlotte?
What?
Welcome to You Just Got Parented by Amin Elhassan. Because that's how I treat my kids. Like, okay, you want to do that? It's going to take you this much work. Do you want to just do what I'm telling you to do, or you can do what you want to do? But
oh my God, that's fucking terrifying.
Look at that. All right. Now, if I move
okay,
this here,
that
shadow's a lot
that was a
noticeable.
humbling moment for me.
Yeah. If it gives you any solace, my kids still haven't figured it out. They still ask for dumb things. And I say, well, do it this way.
Yeah, well.
Can we have a pet? I'm like, yeah. Like the moment you show me that you can consistently keep your room clean and do the things you're supposed to do without having anyone tell you to do it, we'll get a pet. And it's like, okay, you're on. And then like 2 hours later, like, why are there
by
tissues
those
on
standards,
the ground?
I couldn't have a pet either. So maybe we have more. Your kids and I have more in common than. All right, I'll be right back. You were recording that?
I'm brilliant. Oh, what is this? Welcome to Oddball. I'm Amin Elhassan. I'm joined as always by Charlotte Wilder. I have a tremendous show for you today. A little bit later, we'll have the second half of our conversation with Carlos Boozer. But first, the headlines. I've just been handed this late-breaking news from the Oddball news desk. Kai Jones of the Charlotte Hornets has officially requested to be traded from the Charlotte Hornets, according to a tweet from him that says, quote, I have officially requested to be traded from the Charlotte Hornets. Hashtag GOAT life. Kids, just say no. When they come to you, tell you this is what the cool kids are doing, just say no. Chris Paul made his Warriors debut and it kind of worked. I don't know. I mean, he had 6 points and 5 assists in 13 minutes of play as the Warriors defeated the Los Angeles Lakers. Draymond Green didn't play. Klay Thompson started at the 4. It was wonky. It's preseason, folks. Steve Kerr said to Paul after the game, there's a pace to the game that is fun to watch as a coach, where you just kind of know he's going to be making the right play over and over. He understands when we need to pull it back and get into an inaction or play faster because he understands the rhythm of the game. So Chris is amazing. Really fun to have him on our side finally. Who amongst us doesn't love a honeymoon? This is like the weirdest edition of 90 Day Fiance, right? Like it's going to fall apart at some point. No? Okay.
I don't know. Steve Kerr saying this is really fun feels like, is it? But
it's essentially him announcing that he just bought a boat called the SS Live Forever.
On Sunday, during their preseason win against the Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Celtics' Jaylen Brown was seen walking around with his shorts on backwards to be exact. And I've got to tell you guys, I have never related to an athlete more. Do you know how many times I've gone out in public with my shirt on inside out, or like my pants on inside out once, actually, or like my fly unzipped, or my pants on backwards, just like Jaylen. Like I haven't related to an athlete this much since, well, I guess since last week when Nikola Jokic said that his summer was too short.
How do you pants, Charlotte? Usually have a button, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you reach the point where you left the house with the pants on backwards?
You know what I mean? I ask myself that whenever it happens.
Okay. I mean, I think
it usually happens. It usually happens with pants that don't have buttons, like sweatpants, leggings. The other week I did wear my leggings inside out and they had pockets. So I was like trying to find the pockets. And then I realized that the pants were just. Anyway, do we have more?
I think we should just move on.
Okay.
According to reports, Team USA is reportedly looking at adding Drew Holiday to the roster for the 2024 Olympics. So let me get this straight. they want Holiday to play basketball during Holiday's summer holiday. You like that one?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, just like you drew it up, huh?
Yeah, you executed that play beautifully. I mean, thank you.
I drew it up.
Uh,
Closed captions will get it. Drew. See his name.
Oh.
What you guys got? His name is Drew, and it sounds kind of like Drew. Okay. You'll get it. You'll get it later in post.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. The Celtics again. Peyton Pritchard showed up.
Yeah, a lot of Celtics news today.
Well, a lot happened, and I love them. Peyton Pritchard showed up in the game ready to play after getting paid, agreeing to a 4-year, $30 million extension. Now, I mean, do you remember at Summer League, which could have been 3 months ago or last week, depending on when this is airing, we were going through players who would be better if they had different names?
Yes, this was an NBA Reddit segment, right?
Yes, let's roll the tape on
that. I'm on the fence about Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, no, yeah, we got to change that one.
I think we got to, but also I feel like maybe it's working for him.
No, I mean, it's on brand.
Yeah.
But I think he didn't get on the floor most of the time in the playoffs. So maybe if his name was something else, instead of Peyton Pritchard, how about?
Oh, I have it. Richard Pritchard.
That's a nice end to the segment right there.
I do remember that conversation now.
Right? So I think that Peyton clearly watches Oddball, and to quote the meme that I use as a crutch most often in this segment, he took it personally.
Speaking to the Miami Herald's Anthony Craig, Tyler Herro discussed his goal for the upcoming season and how the Heat's failed attempt to land Damian Lillard and trade him away was, motivation. Saying, quote, "If you look around the league, I'm right there with every young guy that they say is the next thing or whatever it is. I know my value. I know I'm one of them, and I don't need to say it. I'll show you." Okay, I'm no linguistics expert, but I kind of feel like he said it. Right? He said, I don't have to say it, right? And then he said it. I'm trying to do the math. I feel like I'm doing word count right now as I'm trying to add this up.
Yeah, if you say you don't have to say it, you just said it, which means you do have to say it.
Well, I mean, you could say I don't have to say it, but then you don't say it. But then he said it right before that. He said, I don't have to say it, but then he had already said it by then.
Huh.
Is he contradicting himself? Also, by the way, you know who else looked around the league and measured Tyler Herro's value? The Miami Heat. And the Portland Trailblazers, too, I'm assuming, because they said no also. So
I think a few teams probably looked around the league and checked out Tyler Herro's value.
I say I don't have to say it. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, we're not saying it. We're saying it.
By the way, meanwhile in Portland, this was happening. In other news, Dillon Brooks is already busting out some moves in Houston. Dance moves, that is. Here he is at the Rockets scrimmage. That's nice. They're going to have the worst record in the league, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few questions when the announcer says at the end, what does he say? He goes, "Give it up for Dillon Brooks." It sounds like he's announcing like a bridal party walking into the reception after a wedding. Like, is Dillon Brooks being hazed? Did he decide to do this? I feel like we might need to do an investigation on why was Dillon Brooks dancing.
Charlotte, you're going to Houston.
Oh, no.
Also, I like the idea that you're saying, what is this, a bridal party? When bridal parties and weddings got that from sporting events, specifically basketball. PA announcers were doing that. Yeah, that's why they do that, Charlotte. They didn't make it. You thought like when your grandmother got married, there was a guy saying, "Coming in."
No,
all the way from Holland.
Oh, it all makes a lot more sense now.
You thought your parents, like the lights got low and laser show started and down.
Can we move on?
Victor Wembanyama debuted in front of 13,000 Spurs fans in an open scrimmage. Had some quotes, Charlotte. Listen to some of these quotes. Okay. It really warmed my heart to see that every time a player of our team stepped onto the court, they almost had a standing ovation. It's all I expected, but it still feels good. He went on to say, I think the best players can be the ones who make his teammates better. So this is someone I want to get close to. You can't win by just yourself. And I got to say, Charlotte, since time immemorial, every time a human being has to learn a new language, the first words you learn are bitch, all the cuss words, all the George Carlin seven deadly words, right? This guy, he learns English, oh, prim and proper. Oh, I'm so happy about the standing ovation. Oh, I want to get to know my guy. What is this? Who is this guy? Oh, goody two shoes over here. Did we get a basketball Russell Wilson from France?
Oh no,
yeah,
it does sound
right.
It does sound like he learned to speak English using a book of basketball platitudes. But what if it's also just like really nice? What if he's just a sweet boy?
I don't want a sweet boy. I want. Wow, that's crazy. Oh. That's crazy. Oh man, this is time for me to unveil my limited fake Mason Betha. Wow, kill him. That's crazy. He said he don't want a sweet boy. Right. Let's just end this segment right here, man. Oh my God. All right, let's pick up where we left off with Carlos Boozer breaking a backboard at the pump camp where he played with Matt Barnes.
I broke 5 backboards in high school.
That's insane.
Yeah, the most memorable one was at the double. You guys know Dane and David Pump, the Pump brothers?
The Pump brothers, yeah.
So I got discovered at their basketball camp in Cal State Dominguez Hills. It was called the West Coast Camp, Pump Brothers. And I broke a backboard during one of the games, and it like went viral. We're like, yo, this kid from Alaska, he dunks like a grizzly bear. I remember Matt Barnes was my teammate, and he was like, yo, everybody talking about you. I'm like, what you mean? He goes, you broke a backboard, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, everybody's like, yo, this dude's like 7 feet. I'm like, I am? You know, like one of those like urban myths or whatever. But yeah, but that was the camp I got discovered at, and I broke a backboard at their camp.
Being from Alaska, I feel like people who are from Alaska, that becomes like such a personality trait. Like everybody I know from Alaska, it's like, whoa, you're from Alaska. That's wild. Do you go back? Do you feel like that? You know, you don't live there now, I'm assuming, but
you cook outdoors, like by a stream?
Are you catching salmon with your bare hands? Like, what are we doing, Booze?
I wish I could say I catch salmon with my bare hands, but no, I go back every July and August, just about. You know, COVID threw a little monkey wrench in the travel, but I like to go back in the summer, guys. I don't want to go back in the winter. It's the winter in Alaska is like the kind of cold that gets to your bones. So I like to stay away from the winter up there, but the summers I go back. I live in Miami, Florida. I've been here for 20 years. I picked palm trees when I had a choice to pick where I wanted to live. And it's hard to leave Miami if you guys have been down here to go back anywhere else. But I love Alaska, man. I got so much love up there. Like I go home, I talk to my friends, my high school coach, George Houston, one of my mentors, and my mom and my dad loves to fish. He'll go up there just for a month, just to go fishing for a month in the summer. So it's a beautiful place if you haven't been.
Booze, I'm going to read a headline for you. I need you to explain to me what's happening here.
All right.
Star player mauled by Wolfpack during makeout mishap.
It sounds like he got. Listen, at the end of the day, you got to find places to do your thing in Alaska. I lived in a house. There was 7 of us in a 3-bedroom. You can't bring your girl back to the crib when you got a house full of people. You know what I mean? So literally just, you know, we the good thing about Alaska, there's a lot of trails and people go hiking, and really, you know, me and my girlfriend go up there just to get to know each other a little bit. Respect, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of wild animals. So there's bears roaming around. There's a pack of wolves. You'll see deer all the time, porcupines. And there was one occasion where we got a little we weren't alone. I'll put it like that. We weren't alone. So, you know.
That's the part, like, because it's like you're telling he's in the, you guys got to get the book. He's talking about,
you
it's
gotta
like,
get the book.
You gotta get the
practice, and my dad tied my right arm with the belt, so I had to use my left hand. And then like a wolf pack was eating a deer. I'm like, what? And then he'll go back and talk about like, yeah, I went down to California, I shattered a backboard, and I met with Coach K, came up, and Coach Boeheim, and all these coaches came out. Oh, and by the way, my sister got caught in quicksand. Yeah. And I said, I thought that was just in the cartoons, man.
True story, man. Like, this is the thing. Like, we discovered so much because we weren't used to it. So we're going behind the apartments and walking down paths. And next thing I know, my sister's sinking, and I'm like, just get up. And she's like screaming at me, like, I can't. And I'm like, well, it's just dirt. And we had no idea what quicksand was.
So this is wild to me because when I was growing up, I was terrified of quicksand. Quicksand was something that I was like, I know I'm going to encounter this at some point in my life. This is the scariest thing. I think from The Princess Bride, I think I got really scared. So the fact that this actually happened to you is like, maybe I was right to be a little bit scared, Carlos.
Definitely. It's unless you've encountered it, it's just something that you see on TV. But when you're actually in the moment, it was scary. Like, we're kids. We're not even supposed to be outside. My parents are still at work. It's just me and my sister. We're just exploring, picking blueberries and just, having a good time. And next thing I know, she can't move. And I'm like, what's going on here? It was a freaky moment for a kid, to be honest with you.
Carlos, when you were going through the process of deciding what school to go to, you went on a couple of campus visits. When you went to UCLA, Baron Davis was your host.
Yeah.
Baron Davis is a friend. So I need you to give me the craziest Baron Davis story from when he was a teenager back then.
Man, BD, one of my big bros, man, he's always been a mentor for me. I've known BD since I'm 16, 17 years old. And on my visit, obviously it was a great game. And they played UNLV. It was like they had Sean Marion on the other team. And UCLA was loaded, though. They had BD. They had EJ backing up BD. They had Dan Gazzarese. They had Jelani McCoy. Like, they were loaded. They had my boy Matt Barnes, who played AAU ball with me since we were like 14 years old. Ray Young, that crew. Jason Capono, sniper, shooter. Anyway, so they destroy UNLV at home up in Pauley. And we go back to, I can't remember whose crib it was. It might have been Rico's crib. We go back to the crib. Rico is like running through the halls, like almost butt naked, just having he's like, bro, sorry, man, this is how we get down to LA, like we just won. It's the weekend, we're gonna have a good time. But BD was also like, he was just real with me. He was like, Boo's, like, I can see you take basketball real serious, man. He was like if I was gonna stay, I'd tell you to come, but I'm probably gonna be a top 5, top 10 pick. And if it was me, I would go to Duke. You have a chance to do something special with somebody with Coach K. And if I could get coached by Coach K, I would take it too. And he was just keeping it real with me because he wanted to play with me, but he knew his stock was through the roof and he wasn't going to be the year I come in. So I just, and that was the moment for me where Baron Davis became like, one of my mentors because he told me the truth. Like, as bad as UCLA wanted me to come and Coach Lavin and everybody wanted me to be a part of that 99 class, BD was like, Booz, if I was going to stay, I'd tell you to come, but I'm not going to be here. You take basketball serious like I do, you should go to Duke.
That's an incredible thing to do as a mentor, as someone who's invested in a person as opposed to, an institution. Did you carry any of that with you, or, as a mentor, what kind of mentor were you? Like, who are some of the guys that you took under your wing?
Oh man, so many, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, Darren Williams, like these are guys that I played with that just became close to me. Nate Robinson, like a lot of these guys, like we get them in a league and we become teammates, but we become friends. Like, it goes beyond the court, and those are the relationships that last a lifetime. I think about some of the things that we're doing now, like businesses, and obviously most of us now are older and we're raising kids and we're athletes raising athletes, and we tap in with each other, just to give advice or to congratulate or what have you. So I think ultimately it's like that, paying it forward. Somebody mentored me and gave me great advice, and I'm paying it forward to the next generation so they can pay it forward to the generation after that.
Booz, when you think about kind of the experience at Duke and having played with so many guys that went on to the league, but not only that, but also you got mixed in there Reggie Love, who went to work for President Obama.
Yeah.
In the moment, did you guys realize you were with a special group? I mean, I know you guys were successful, won a national championship, all that, but like in terms of these people are going to go on to do great things. Did you know that, or was it just kind of like, these are just my teammates?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know Reg was going to end up being Obama's right-hand man, but at the same time, we knew that we had a special group of basketball players, but we were all very close. Like there's very few times when you get to the league where you have a college-like fraternity where you're super, super close on and off the court. And, you know, you think about what Dunleavy's doing, obviously a GM now of the Warriors, and EB, Elton Brand's a GM of the Sixers, and, you know, Reggie Love, wait till his book comes out, okay? You know, Jay Will, the great things that Jay Will is doing on and off the basketball court and business. I mean, Matt Christensen, who was like a walk-on for us, has like $1 billion hedge fund up in Boston. So there's a ton of guys from that 2001 championship Duke team that are doing great things in life. And we didn't know we were going to be doing all this stuff after we graduated college or whatever, but we knew we had good guys on the team. And the cool thing is about our brotherhood, you can really make a phone call, tap in and get advice or get some knowledge or just catch up. Like we have a huge group chat, probably like 40 of us, that we write every week. And right now, we talking about Duke football.
Oh, man.
Even though our quarterback just got hurt, but Duke football on the map right now. Don't sleep on us now.
Yeah, all the best to Riley, man. That was
I hope
gnarly.
He's okay. That kid's a stud, man. I hope he's okay.
All right, we'll get you out on this one, Booze. Fill in the blanks. If I wasn't an NBA player, I would have become I
either would have became a football player or an attorney. I had a class in college where
hold on, time out. Those are two really, really different things.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love football. I'm a huge Eagles fan ever since Randall Cunningham when I was 8. Obviously, being from DC, my entire family is Washington Redskins fans. And then, you know, we had Ripken and those guys back in Doug Williams back in the day, Art Monk. But when I saw Randall Cunningham, I was like, what is that? Like, I never saw a guy run like that, sidearm throw as far as he could throw. And then on the other side of the ball, we had Reggie White sacking all the quarterback. So anyway, I'm a huge football fanatic. And then I took a class in college. I can't remember the name of the class, but we got a chance to basically just argue and debate about cases. And I was like, dang, this is something come on, guys. How many Law and Orders have you guys watched? I'm all in. I've watched every episode, bro.
A lot.
So it would either be football or an attorney.
The book is called Every Shot Counts. Carlos Boozer, thanks for joining us on Oddball.
Appreciate it, guys.
Are you excited?
For what?
To come to New York this week?
Oh, yeah. No, should be fun. Should be fun.
You don't sound excited enough.
I mean, look, it's going to be my first time at the Oddball New York setup. I'm curious to see what it's like. You know, Miami, we got Miami on lock. New York, we got to get those people up to speed, you know. I feel like
gotta show them what Oddball is all about.
Yeah, they're not ready for what's about. They're like, oh, yeah, so you guys are doing a show like Pablo where you sit down and you talk to the microphone? Nah. It ain't that kind of show.
No.
Do you think they're ready? Have you been prepping them at all?
I've tried. I don't really, it's a hard thing to explain whatever this is.
Did you do what I told you to do?
Yes.
You walked in there and you cleared out
I put a flag. I put an Oddball flag in the.
No, you're supposed to walk in, go right up to that middle table where everyone's sitting, and just clear out all laptops, it doesn't matter, pens on the ground, and say, look at them dead in their eyes and go, oops. And that way they know, like, we mean business. You didn't do that. No. You walked in like Victor Wembanyama, like, oh, yeah. I'm terribly excited to work with all. Is that you did that?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't prep them for what was coming.
Nobody cared.
It's on you. This is all going to be on you.
This is not my fault.
I'm going to walk away carnage and like shattered.
Why are you trying? Why do you want to?
Like just yeah, and everyone's going to be crying and saying, Charlotte, why didn't you tell us?
And I'll say, what did Tyler Herro say?
You're gonna take.
I don't have to say it.
Oh.
No. All right. See you guys in New York.